important political work in Australia. I should say that took place in the post office when I was first appointed Postmaster General. First thing I did was to cut down the telephone rates.
Many nations have looked with longing eyes towards Australia and have desired to possess it for their surplus population. And but for the empire, they would long ago have knocked at our gates, sword in hand. Of ourselves, we could do little against a first-class power. The League of Nations, which some seem to think has made the empire unnecessary, is no substitute for the empire.
It has as its great objective the improvement in our production, and behind all is a determination by competitions of this character to bring up that efficiency.
I welcome this opportunity to speak to the people of Great Britain through the movie tone in news. Australia today is suffering from depression. The Australian government has inherited deficits from its predecessors, financial commitments, and we are told falling revenue.
It has been a great experience to me to visit Britain, the country from which we of the Dominions have inherited most of our traditions and most of our customs. I had been prepared for something beautiful, something old, something which possessed the glamour of the past and yet represented the forward movement of the modern world.
We Australians are engaged on a new front in this war. It is the economic front. Our wheat, our butter, our meat and other primary products are being used as deadly weapons against Hitler. We are supplying Britain with vital food. We're also feeding our own troops thousands of miles away.
Australia, some people say, is trailing at the heels of imperialist America. All I need say is that Australia is British and has a great and tried and common family allegiance under the Crown. But Australia knows, and so do the communists.
I appreciate the great honour to be Prime Minister of Australia. I have been elected to this task under most extraordinary circumstances and times. At this juncture, I can do no more than promise my wholehearted ability and conscientious contribution to the winning of the war and towards the maximum war effort for Australia.
The full Cabinet today directed the War Cabinet to gazette the necessary regulations for the complete mobilisation and the complete ordering of all the resources, human and material, in this Commonwealth for the defence of this Commonwealth.
Ladies and gentlemen, I deem it quite an honour to appear before you this evening as Minister of State for Trade and Customs to introduce to you an all-Australian talkie program produced by FD Film Studios.
Good evening, listeners. You might be interested to know of what Australia has received in the way of reparation, drawings and technical knowledge from Germany. Armed with many of the inner secrets developed by German industry, Australian manufacturers have been able to improve their production.
That you have an admiring friend, a staunch friend, that will be all the way with LBJ.
I'm glad to have been invited to speak tonight in support of Mr. Albert Cook, MLA, who is again, of course, the candidate for the state electorate of Benalla.
The first landing of man on the moon, is a success which excites the wonder and admiration of us all. The United States has achieved a great and peaceful triumph for mankind generally.
But the problem of abortion has, and I've stated my position and the position of the government clearly.
What is that, Prime Minister?
And that is, we believe that the present law is satisfactory and we will not alter it. In other words, we don't believe that there should be abortion on demand, and we don't believe in a permissive approach to abortion.
Well may we say, God save the Queen. Because nothing will save the Governor-General.
In the House of Representatives this morning, I asked the Prime Minister for the second time whether he and his government would resign. For the second time, he replied that he would not. The opposition now has no choice. We will use the power vested in us by the Constitution and delay the passage of the government's money bills through the Senate.
When all those who had not managed to get away were either dead or wounded, foot soldiers went through the square, bayoneting or shooting anybody who was still alive. They had orders that nobody in the square be spared.
That is perhaps the point of this year of the world's Indigenous people, to bring the dispossessed out of the shadows, to recognise that they are part of us, that we cannot give Indigenous Australians up without giving up many of our own deeply held values.
My fellow Australians, a few moments ago I telephoned Mr Kevin Rudd and I congratulated him and the Australian Labor Party on a very emphatic victory.
Today we honour the Indigenous peoples of this land, the oldest continuing cultures in human history. We reflect on their past mistreatment. We reflect in particular on the mistreatment of those who were stolen generations.
I will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man. I will not. And the government will not be lectured about sexism and misogyny by this man. Not now, not ever.
I am saying that the boats are stopping, but it will be many months, many months before we can declare that this particular issue has been substantially resolved. But I do want to make it crystal clear to you, Lee, and to anyone watching this program, as far as this government is concerned, our borders are always going to be secure. As far as this government is concerned, the way is closed.
It has been a challenging time to be Prime Minister, but I'm very proud of our record. I'm very proud of my government, my minister's record in achievement. So I want to thank them. I want to thank all my colleagues. I want to thank my staff. But, you know, above all, I want to thank my wife, Lucy, for her love and support.
Now, our job, particularly for Josh and I, as we take forward this new mantle of leadership as a new generation, is to ensure that we not only bring our party back together, which has been bruised and battered this week, but that will enable us to ensure we bring the Parliament back together, that we can continue to work to ensure that our country stays close together